to Dr. Will Taegel, who's been both a faculty member and a student at Wisdom University, and is receiving his doctorate at the same time that he's giving us the commencement address. And we decided to do this because the graduation committee believes that Will is carrying a particular message that the university needs to hear, and that in fact the larger community will benefit from. And so Will, thank you for being with us, and thank you for sharing with us your topic today about the language of nature.
In this particular time, in the story of human beings, we need to go into the depths to return to the mother tongue. That's what I want to visit with you about today. Carl Jung, in his startlingly beautiful and disturbing book, The Red Book, has pointed us in the direction saying that we need not so much at this time to go toward enlightenment, but to go toward endarkenment, into the spirit of the depths. So I want for us to take a brief sojourn into the depths today. But before we do that, I think we need to fortify ourselves with a little humor, a little laughter, especially since graduation is too important to be taken so seriously. I was saying to the graduate this morning as we were practicing, sort of popped out of my mouth that the purpose of a graduation address might be properly to sedate the graduates before they go out into the world. You can't get out of Wisdom University without an oral exam, PhD, and possibly other degrees in the future. And you can't have an oral exam in Wisdom University without a lot of questions about Greek philosophy. And it took me back to my first doctorate and oral exams, 1975, so far back that I can barely remember. Seems like, although my memory plays tricks on me, that one of the questions was, who is Socrates? And my answer was Socrates was a teacher who asked a lot of questions, got into trouble, and one of the oral examiners said, "How did he die?" And I said, "I think he died of an overdose of wedlock." So, I'm not sure that would have gotten me out of Wisdom University. Speaking of Greek philosophy, another question might be, what is a Greek myth? I might have answered a female moth. So that brings me to my favorite dissertation story of all time. Rabbit, a cultural creative rabbit, had been doing research in the rabbit hole, came out of the rabbit hole, and the fox came up and said, "I'm going to eat you." And the rabbit said, no, before you eat me, we have to go down into the research hole, and you have to read my dissertation, which is entitled "The Superiority of Rabbits Over Foxes." "That can't be," said the fox. "Everybody knows that a fox can eat a rabbit." "Well, let's go down into the rabbit hole and see." So we went down into the rabbit hole, and the fox was never seen again. Next day, the rabbit comes out again after another period of research. Meets a wolf, same thing happens. The wolf goes down the rabbit hole to read the dissertation, never seen again. Third day, the rabbit comes out and is celebrating with another rabbit, cultural creative rabbit. Says, "Let's go over to Starbucks Lettuce Patch and celebrate, because I just finished my dissertation, which I altered at the last minute, and the title is "The Superiority of Rabbits Over Both Foxes and Wolves." that can't be. Your research must be wrong. You must have done a poor literature review. And so the first rabbit says, well, come on down into my research hole, and I'm going to let you read my dissertation. So they go down in, they get in the hole, adjust their eyes, see a computer, an APA resource manual, a stack of emails from the dean of students, and a pile of bones of a fox and a wolf. And seated next to the computer is a well-fed white lion. So the moral of this dissertation story is, sure, it matters what your dissertation title is. Sure, it matters your literature review, but what really matters is who your advisor is. So another thing I want to do before we start down the spiral staircase into at least some of the depths, I want to express my gratitude to the graduates. You are our vision clusters. You are our outliers that went to the edge to do this research. And we're grateful, Nancy, to you for your helping us remember who we are at our base. And we're grateful, Chris, to you for helping us integrate self-leadership as we make the journey down the spiral. And we're grateful, and to you, for giving us the language of sparks. Of sparks. And this is a beautiful phrase that Nancy Lee Evans, that you gave us, and that is carrying the bones of our ancestors. We have to do that if we're going to go down into the depths. And Suzanne, thank you so much for the images that you've given us, the images that lead us into a myth of the eternal return. And I want to pause here just to say that, and each one of them will say a bit more about that, but I want to pause to say that in Wisdom University and in my hypothesis about returning to the mother tongue, that we embrace every form of wisdom as we wind our way down the spiral staircase. Every form of wisdom and every domain of wisdom is important. And yet I am suggesting to you that at the base is the mother tongue. And without the mother tongue, all the other forms of wisdom will lead us into the cul-de-sac of our current situation with Western civilization. But let me explain more about what I mean about that.